when you add something up and it, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it probably means that we don't have the truth, right? We don't know what's going on, because it's not just that General Austin should have notified somebody. There's an existing protocol, and his office, all of his minions, all of those many people in the Department of Defense and the SecDef's office, they would know that. Also, you have no contact from your Secretary of Defense for 5 days and nobody notices. I just find that very hard to believe, because now you've got Secretary, Tony Blinken, Secretary of State, coming out saying, well, I wasn't aware either. Well, who else wasn't aware? I mean, come on. But, this is consistent with what we have seen since the Obama era, where you have different agencies just not functioning, or functioning in a completely inappropriate way that is 100% against the law, but nobody enforces the law. What am I talking about? Well, remember when the State Department took over running the response to Benghazi? Why did nobody ask, where's the Department of Defense? Why was Hillary Clinton and the State Department running that? Why wasn't the Department of Defense running that? And to me, what I, as an investigative reporter, would want to know about is who is really running things behind the scene. Because we are in a time where the United States, the military has never been smaller. It's falling far short of its recruitment goals, because nobody wants to sign up to represent traitors, right, and to fight for traitors, and also to be thrown under the bus, which is what we do to most of our soldiers and Border Patrol agents and so on these days. So you're short of your recruitment goals. You're smaller than ever. Your allies, are more betrayed than ever, more disillusioned than ever with the United States. So they're doing things without you. You've lost long-standing relationships with allies all over the world. You betrayed the Afghans, and send a signal to everyone in the world: don't stand with us, because freedom is a worthless ideal, and we're not going to fight for it, and we're not going to protect you. There are Afghan women today still being taken from their homes, being forced at the ages of 10, 11, 12 into marriages, right? There are women that we trained as activists who've been hunted down, tortured, raped to death, murdered constantly, and we do nothing about them. And Lloyd Austin, let's not forget, presided over that big lie, right? The Afghan withdrawal. And you've got all of this happening. You've got what's going on with China. You've got the South China Seas. You've got this administration inexplicably removing the Houthis from the terror list, putting this country right in the line of fire. Let's not delude ourselves, right? The Houthis, come on. Who are the Houthis really? They're just an Iranian proxy. So we've put ourselves right in the center of the crosshairs of Iran and every other enemy this nation has. And you don't notice that the top defense official in the nation is missing in action? Give me a break. We're being lied to over and over and over again. And millions of Americans are absolutely sick of it. But what I would tell you is this is consistent with what we have seen from this administration. They're not concerned about defending the borders of the United States, as you've covered on this show over and again. They're not concerned about defending American soldiers abroad. Now, there are elements within this administration. You got to look at what General Charlie Flynn is doing over in their leadership. Right? Is doing everything it can to weaken the United States. Why? Because that is consistent with an open borders ideology. You cannot have open borders and have strong nation states. Open borders, literally, when you follow the ideology through to its conclusion, not the watered down version that they sell so that people will be deceived. When you go to the end of it, open borders means one world, just like we have in the digital world. That means no nation states. That's why nationalism and any sort of national pride and patriotism is regarded as terrorism by these people. So what we see is whether it's handing Afghanistan over to terrorists and creating a massive terrorist state in a critical part of the world, or whether it's, whether it's what they do with Israel, whatever it is, wherever they're doing it, they consistently take action that weakens the United States. And let me tell you, the question that I am most tired of hearing from people is, why would they do that? You know what? If you're still asking that stupid question, first of all, ask Joe Biden why he would do that. Ask Lloyd Austin and his staff why they would do this if they did it. Ask the rest of this government why they do nothing to protect the United States or close the borders or hold illegal immigrants to the same standards that they hold American citizens. Don't ask the people who don't support those policies. Ask the people who are implementing those policies why they're doing it. To me, it's obvious. If you want to strengthen America, you don't do these things. If you want to weaken America, you want to narrow advantage that we have on the battlefield, then you hand over sensitive technology to a terrorist state that you create. By the way, the same terrorist responsible for 9/11. That's what you do when you seek to destroy this country, because the strongest nation on earth is the United States of America, not just in terms of, its military defenses and so on and so on. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in the sense of what is in the heart and the soul of every American, because this is the only nation on earth that was founded in a covenant with God. And that is what makes America strong. It's God that stands by us. And this is the only nation on earth that is standing between these globalists and the rest of the world. America falls, the rest of it is going to look kind of easy in comparison.